Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV news. This time we're looking at the Lodestone page, talking about the winners of the weapon design contest. Those of you who watch me on Twitch know that I've already kind of reacted to this live, and I was kind of gushing about the prospect of these weapons actually making it into the game. So first of all, I must say congratulations to all of the people who have entered the weapon design contest. And obviously, to see your stuff in the game is going to be overwhelming for yourself, but it's also going to be very, very cool for the rest of us as well. And obviously, we have to thank those people for bringing fresh new ideas to the game. We have a lot to thank people for, I can assure you, when we scroll down through these. There's also a section of runners-up, which are finalists, which didn't make it into the winning entries. We're going to look at those briefly as well, just scan through those. But of course, you know, everybody did amazingly well, and there is a potentiality that they might add even some of the finalists as well as the winners as well. So the way this works basically is that there are two winners that are going to be put into the game in an unspecified time in the future. Obviously this can be over years. It doesn't necessarily mean the next year or so. It could be many years down the line, but they will be placed into the game. Also, they get their prize that they asked for out of the selection of prizes through prize delivery as well. So let's look at these. So there's two entries that are going to get put into the game, guaranteed per job. First of all, we have the Paladin design. Let's zoom in even further here just to get this nice and big on screen. So this is the first of two. This then is designed, obviously I don't know how to read their name. I'll read their name where possible, but this is honestly one of the most beautiful weapons in the game, isn't it? It's definitely going to be. It reminds me of something you would see maybe as a relic weapon. Definitely I've got sort of like Excalibur vibes, obviously, but there's a lot more detail to this than that, I believe. The amount of gold, almost like a Starry Night sort of thing, going with like a bit of, you know, like a cold Starry Night, or maybe even on like brandishing when something goes like white hot and then there's blue flames or something. I can imagine this weapon looking amazing in a game, and the shield to go with it as well just is absolute perfection. This is something I would see probably as a relic series, or I would love there to be weapons created for every job of this specific type. I think most people would agree. It is just absolutely mind-blowing. I love the size of the shield as well. Look at this. It's like a tower size, but with, you know, that sort of like, it's almost like that bent, curved sort of thing going on here. I love that profile. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're starting off very good, as you'd imagine. The other design that got entered that made it into a winning entry for Paladin is this Ladle and Saucepan lid shield, which is honestly, you know, probably my other favorite thing to see out of this. It seems when we go through these, you'll see they've gone for like a super serious take on things, and then they've also gone for a slightly less serious take on things as well. So there's a good balance in the winning entries. So you are actually looking physically at weapons that are being added to the game right now. This is obviously Mandragora themed. We've got these wonderful decals on, what do you call this ribbon around the bottom of the ladle. Just imagining hitting somebody in the face with a ladle and smacking them in the face with a saucepan lid is already making me fairly excited. What a wonderful entry, and I have no idea where they're going to place this, but I am very, very eagerly anticipating it. Moving on then, Warrior. The first entry for this is a circular saw. You might obviously have seen these from Final Fantasy XII, right, with the Bangar, and obviously we've got Grimoire with his chainsword, right, in Stormblood. This is kind of like the same thing, especially in this green mock-up here as well. Kind of reminds me more of a Grimoire or hyper-tuned Grimoire's weapons. I do really, really like the green one here. I like the way that this is obviously a dye experiment to show how that would dye. So they're adamant that they want to keep the blade this solid glowed red, and the dye actually affecting the inner metal itself. I think that's a wonderful idea. This is probably going to be one of my favorite warrior weapons when it finally gets added to the game. It's absolutely beautiful. and it's long overdue. We recently got rid of just having pure axes to having a hammer in the game. I would love to see more hammers, and I would love to see circular saws and other ways to take different job weapons. This is fantastic for that. The other winner then, here, the Bombfish Basher by King WC here, is basically a hammer. You're smacking people in the face with a bombfish, which, I mean, can you get any better than that, really? So like I said, we've got the super serious, like engineered, maybe Garland, or maybe not Garland Ironworks, but maybe just pure Golem mold technology, and then you've got bombfish on a stick. I think the bombfish on a stick is fantastic. It literally is just a bombfish attached via rope to a stick. So they've got a good sense of humor here. And as they say, they've got leather wrapping and stuff. This actually reminds me of something like a tribal weapon that you might see from one of a tribal dailies or something. No idea where this could be placed into the game. Hopefully it's a craftable. That would be really nice to see you actually having to catch the bombfish and then, stick it on a pole basically with some rope. That would be hilarious. And then they say the flippers move when unsheathed. So presumably this is an actual live bombfish. I like that. That's a really, really fun design. For the Dark Knight then, we have one of my favorite ideas for a weapon, honestly. Dark sort of glass obsidian sort of thing. So glass weapons I've been a massive fan of since playing like Morrowind, for example, where the glass weaponry just it just entered my brain. And I know it's impractical, but the idea of like see-through glass but obsidian strength material as a weapon with the translucence and light passing through that texture, if they can nail that in the game, it will look beautiful. If they don't, then it is what it is, but this will still be a fantastically beautiful item in the game. We've got dark metal wings here on the side here of the guard. It kind of reminds me a little bit like Ensinger weapons, but like you've got that dark, twisted sort of, black metal, and then you've got the embossed sort of things. I love the attention to detail that the entrance went through to actually, for the time put into this. Like this is supposed to be the motif of a spine, with the vertebrae, and then you get the wings and stuff. So much love is going into this. It blows my mind. It really does. I have no idea how people find the imagination to be able to do this, let alone the creative talent. But yes, this weapon will be in the game. I have to keep reminding myself of that every time we look at one of these weapons. Next we have here, might be one of my favorite Dark Knight weapons ever. Definitely just simply because I've not seen it done before, with obviously Sakura petals. Like we've got the spell effect coming off the blade. It is a bright pink sort of lotus, sort of Sakura petal design, with the hilt here and all of the sort of filigree here. It's just beautiful. I can imagine this thing going shring as you like use it. It's basically just a Dark Knight version of a giant samurai sword, isn't it? It's fantastic. It's got a really nice profile to it, and to think that's going to be in the game somewhere, I have no idea. But again, this could be in its entire own like trial series of weapons for different jobs. So hopefully they take inspiration from these as well and sort of elaborate on them. You never know, right? Moving on to Gunbreaker then, the first of the two winners here is this, which looks like a super neo-modern version of a Gunbreaker weapon, of a Gunblade. And yeah, I like the spinning, what do you call it? The reactor spinning things. Reactors, the cylinder folding out to reload and stuff. The detail that's gone into this, the thought and attention, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a lot more similar to the current sort of Gunbreaker designs that we have in the game than, say, for instance, like a bombfish or whatever. But I think that this is definitely the sort of like ultimate level, sort of neo version of a weapon you can imagine in the game, right? It's a much bigger profile. As you can see, there's the normal Gunbreaker sort of profile. This is big. I would love to see this as like a lit LED red strip permanently. It says red strip in barrel glows when the weapon is unsheathed. That would be lovely, honestly, to have that like powers active, reactors online sort of thing. I do like that. It's really, really nice. So hopefully they put that somewhere useful. I mean, this could be a craftable, right? Ideally. What have we got here? So the second option is more of the entertainment take on things. This is, of course, a shark gunblade. I mean, what is there to say? We've got the opening action, that's sort of like scissor action with the teeth of the shark blade opening and closing based on it being sheathed and unsheathed. It says shark on it in Eorzean. The red light of its eye glows, as well as the little light down here. What's not to love about that, honestly? And if you thought that they were only going to do like one shark theme item, stay tuned because there's quite a few. This then is probably my highlight from the entire thing. If I was to pick one that if it was just me on my own and I could pick only one item to win personally, this would be my take. I'm not a monk main by any stretch of the imagination, but just simply the thought and attention to detail that's gone into this really did take me back, especially on stream when we first looked at this. So this is the Dragon's Beard Fists, and obviously this is from Sana. They don't say what server they're on. It says, an intricate monk fist crafted from gold and imbued with energy, inspired by Asian golden dragon statues with a nod towards lotus flower petals. What I like about this is the lotus flower petals being used as kind of like just extending out when you clench your fist, sort of thing, like when you unsheath. I like that idea. So it like just folds out into, brass knuckle type things, but they're kind of floating as well. It's just the idea of having that in the face, but also the glow effect. So the thing with monk weapons I always find is usually they just try to put like, it looks like you're holding two irons on the end of your hand, like clothes irons. But, I like it when they enhance it onto replacing what would be there as a glove, so to speak. So this is like turning a glove into a weapon, more like what you would see from most fist fighting sort of anime. But this is really cool. You've got the claw on the edge there of the finger and of the thumb, and then when you clench, those lotus sort of blades come out. Oh, it's so good. I love the gold design. I love gold and I love black and I love red together. I think that really, really is a beautiful complement. It's going to look really good in the game. This is actually going to be in the game. I'm just, cannot wait. And here's the other shark-themed item that we were talking about. These are the Major General's Jaws by IK, or Ikai. I'm not sure if I butchered your name there. But as you can see here, you're essentially putting shark mittens on your hand. There is your fist visible through the mouth of the shark. So you're going to be sharking people in the face, basically. You're just going to, what did you say? Have a shark in the face. Yes, I don't know. It is seriously one of the most hilarious things I've seen. I cannot wait to see this in the game. Hopefully this is something you can get from ocean fishing. It deserves to be like an achievement reward or something. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it would be nice to see it implemented in some kind of fish-related reward system. I love this one. It is a brilliant contrast from the super serious awesomeness to then like a different awesomeness, a different take on things. And I now I want like 50 different types of mascot themed gloves. That would be fantastic, like Namazus that like look dazed when you punch people and stuff. That would be fantastic. Let's move on to Dragoon then. The first of the two weapons being put into the game eventually as a winner is this kind of like decay-themed thing from the player Crown here. So it's like a battle standard. I think this is kind of referencing Elden Ring a little bit after playing that too much myself recently. It's the idea of a battle standard kind of polearm with a tattered banner. They've also kind of got this like decay sort of like spell effect going off here that kind of reminds me of like, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark, kind of like fading into nothingness. I like that. This would be really neat as a weapon design series. So like a trial comes out for insert boss's name here, and all of the weapons are decay themed. I do like that. I like the blue accents, the fact that the blue bit lights up when, you know, the battle standard is opened up. There's some action there. It's very limited action. I do like the wolf, I think that is, motif on there. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. I would like to see more of that. I can't wait to see if they keep the spell effect in the game. That would be beautiful. The other Dragoon weapon then takes it completely the other way, and we've got what essentially is a cat toy, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure if this is like a fixed piece of metal or if this is literally a brush. That would be hilarious. But as you can see, it is a fat cat face, and it kind of looks like his tail behind him, if that's what they're going for, with this lovely ribbon. I love that ribbon. That would be lovely to have on as a piece of glamour. And then we've got a cat's paw on the back, you know, the bottom of the pole arm with the little ribbon. It's adorable. What can you say? I cannot believe they're putting that in the game. Hopefully it's got some swishing action, so you can use it like a broom. It's fantastic. I love this one so very much. So yeah, I think they've got a good balance of like super serious and then super everything else. You know, I would love to get this as my Dragoon. I would love that, and do that in PvP and tickle people to death. That's the plan. For Ninja then, the first weapon is basically, my take on this is kind of like, I think these are like love hearts or they're Sakura petals. It kind of reminds me for some reason of something from Ghostwire Tokyo, kind of like that yokai kind of, it's like a ghost blade, you know, or like, I don't know, maybe there's other influences that I'm not getting here, because I obviously cannot read everything that's on screen here. That's my take on it. It's kind of like, I quite like it. It looks like a very short set of ninja weapons, with this kind of like glow, this purple glow. I don't think we've had much of that. It's like purple and pink. I think they're love hearts. Maybe it's like a charm blade or something. I don't know. I could imagine like, you know, like a female ninja, like with this, and like she you know, famous for like luring people in and then slitting their throats or something. I have no idea. It's really nice though. I do like this. It's different, and it kind of looks like the blade is just kind of like held on with this with this rope for dear life. Like it wasn't, you know, it's not a fully purposed blade, as it's not all there. It looks a bit rough, like repurposed kitchen knife or something. But yeah, very cool. And then the other option is a knife and a fork, which is Mandragora themed, which, I mean, how can you not want a knife and a fork? So one of them is a fork, one of them is a knife. It's fantastic. There are many ninjas everywhere that will be eagerly anticipating the ability to taste their enemies with their fork and their knife. I wonder what this tastes like. I don't know. Let me get my knife and fork out. It is a beautiful design. It's simple, and I'm surprised they haven't done a knife and a fork so far, or at least to my knowledge, I don't think they have with weapon designs for ninja. It makes sense. It looks really good, and I really like the design they've gone for. Cannot wait to see where that's from. Now we move on to Samurai then. The first weapon is a, I would say, fairly typical looking blade. The thing that stands out to me most is the actual scabbard itself, with this sort of red theme. Lots of intricate designs. I'm not sure if this is like a different option of color here or size, or if this is a second blade. It looks like a second blade, right? I'm not sure what's going on here. I do like the guard design. I like the blade. The blade can be criticized a little bit for looking quite similar to other weapons we've already got in the game, I think, but it's very hard for people to, you know, make something that doesn't look like that. I mean, katanas are katanas. Hopefully this dies well. That's the big concern to me personally. And I like the scabbard. A lot of weapons for samurai look really good in a game, and then you're like to the left of you, you've got this horrible looking scabbard. Like this, it's like, why? So this looks really good. I cannot wait to see that in the game. That should be fairly easy to implement, I would imagine. And then the other samurai weapon is something on the other side of things, like before. We have this from Kaylee, which honestly will be one of my favorite samurai blades in the game. The idea of basically a hidden blade parasol is fantastic. So what you've got here is that this is basically it in its scabbard, and then this is it drawn. So similar to like a cane sword, as you pull this out, you've got the parasol. Hidden weapons is like, It's surprising that there is no hidden weapon, sort of themed weapons in the game already, to be perfectly honest, especially when they have like Parasol models already in the game. It surprises me. But thankfully, Kaylee has gone out of their way to design something that fills that gap. And I think this is probably going to be the first of many we see like this. Hidden weapon designs are so cool. It says, based on the design of a hidden blade Parasol, displayed is a plethora of close-ups and a sheathed version showing off whatever beauty I could cram into it. Base 3D model available if desired. So look at the how thin that blade is. Look, with the detail here, it's very, very like ornamental blade kind of thing. You're just there for a quick assassination, and you've, oh man, imagine sticking that in someone for a second. Wouldn't it get stuck? I do, however, love this design, like with the cutout stars. It's such a beautiful blade. It'd be a shame to use it almost. But yeah, what a beautiful looking thing. I cannot wait to see that in the game. Just the idea of a parasol with a blade. They should do that for ninja as well, like dual parasols. Now we move on to Bard then. So on our Fizz range, we have the first entry for Bard that one is basically two songbirds with their own little house. And there's this like very nature-themed bow. I wonder how animated these songbirds are going to be. It would be lovely if they did, like as they've said here, some songbird songs or little tweets or something as you unsheath it. Surely that's within the realms of possibility for sound effects. I'm not sure, but I do like the idea of the berries growing here as well. Just the idea of the arrows being different. And I suppose this is the quiver then? Yeah. I didn't realize that before, but I think that the little house is actually the quiver. So they sit on your back. That's adorable. That is absolutely adorable. I like this one a lot, actually. It's got a kind of like wind chime kind of thing going on here, like a harp thing. I like that a lot. I really do. And then the other option is kind of similar, sort of themed in terms of nature, is this Nutkin Bow from Havakuk. Sorry if I butchered your name, with the Nutkin kind of stuck on the top. Again, I wonder how animated he's going to be. It's quite difficult to imagine, but hopefully it's like he wiggles a bit and his ears wiggle or his tail wiggles a bit when you fire an arrow or something. Looks like the acorn probably glows. Yeah, this is awesome. I like how it's hewn literally out of a branch here. That's fantastic. I'm not sure how strong this bow would be, but with the power of Dynamis, I'm sure it's absolutely fine. I like the quiver as well, with the acorn on it on one side and then the branches on the other. And the arrows with each arrow being tipped with an acorn. I love it. I cannot wait to see that in the game. But yeah, both of those are really nice nature-themed things. Machinist then, the first of two winners. We have the Victoria Dopovo, Victory of the People, apparently that means, based off Azuleo ceramic paintings. I've probably butchered that as well. And they make a point of saying this is not metal and this is painted white ceramic. It is a beautiful item. It reminds me of like a teacup or something. Those old teacups you used to get with the blues and the whites and that sort of thing. The only problem I've got is ether packs never really change in the game, and that's one of the crying shame about them. So if they do actually change the ether pack, everybody will be using this because they're tired of seeing the same old crappy looking metal ether pack on the side of a character. But yeah, maybe they won't do this. It would be nice if they did though. The weapon itself is really cool. I like the spell effect of the same kind of design, the ceramic design. I would imagine that if you did actually physically have a ceramic gun, it would probably explode when you pull the trigger. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's possible to make a ceramic weapon, but I can imagine texture-wise that would look really cool. I can't wait to see where that comes from as well. Yeah, very cool. And the other machinist weapon, which is probably one of the most hilarious assassination attempt ideas I've ever seen in my life. I wonder if this has ever been done. It must have, right? A bouquet of flowers with a hidden surprise, basically, from Gal here. So essentially you have the ability to dye the bouquet's flowers different colors. That's the dyeable section of it. And hidden in there is essentially a pistol ready to finish the deed, basically. It's like, I got you some flowers. I love you, pulls trigger. Goodbye, now I have all your money. Yeah, I can imagine this being a thing. It makes me want to Google if this was actually an assassination attempt in the past. I would imagine it would be. There's been some crazy things in history. It looks amazing. It's a novelty that I can get on board for, and I would love to see. You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of white-faced Vare as well from Elden Ring, with that damn bouquet that it keeps slapping you with blood damage. Kind of like that. But maybe they should do that idea as well for a ninja, and that would be badass. Moving on to Dancer. This is probably equal to the Monk. Definitely one of my favourite weapons that they will ever add to the game. The reason is that this is a Dancer weapon that is going to be in the game, and it's basically 2 swords. So for the first time ever, we're going to see a job in this game dual-wielding long swords, but being able to dance with them. How cool is that? I love the crescent moon design here with the moon, well, the 2 moons, or the moon and sun. I'm not sure what design that is. I can't read here. With the nice blades and the ribbon here. This is exceptional. This will be probably my favorite Dancer weapon wherever this gets put into the game. I like the idea of having 2 blades to dance with, like an actual blade dancer. I think most people will just like lose their marbles when they see this. They'll be like, wow, we need this now. But yeah, what a fantastic design. I'm not surprised it won, and I cannot wait to collect that. I would love to see this as a weapon series as well, to be fair. Oh, it's so cool. It's very anime, and I like that. And the other option is this sort of like, how do you describe this? Like a torch? So if you've ever been to the circus, or you've ever been to like, you've seen one of those jugglers, like street performers. I remember when in my brief trip to Germany for a game's launch, we were at this large castle, and they had a fire breather who could juggle, and he was basically breathing fire, spitting flame from his mouth, but he was lighting it with these torches, and then he was juggling at the same time. There's a lot of that going on, and obviously being a dancer, it is an entertainer, so it kind of makes a lot of sense, which is probably why this was chosen. It makes probably the most sense of any kind of a weapon style for a dancer. The idea of spinning flames. It'll be interesting to see how they can actually deal with the trail of the flame. If that's something that will be actually implemented into the game, I would love to see that. But again, you know, this is Final Fantasy XIV. Is this the trail effect gonna be possible? That'd be amazing if it was. If they could crack that, they could update a lot of the Ifrit weapons as well. That would be lovely. But yeah, this is great. It's just it's gonna look really good when you throw these as well. Kind of like your juggling flames. Very, very nice. Black Mage then, probably one of the nicest Black Mage weapons there'll probably ever be in the game. Malum Ignis from Lumi. I must say Lumi has done a fantastic job here, and we'll read through this. It says, a Victorian-style lantern embracing the designs of filigree. Made out of sawn black metal, it's hung equally from an anchor point, so the lantern can move with gravity whichever way you are using it. So as you can see, the lantern always stays upright, which is really cool. A bright blue flame that licks itself around the lantern and radiates a blue glow. When it flickers, the flames seem to produce butterfly sprites that flit and float around a bit before disappearing as quickly as they come. The fire only seems to start once the user wields it. That's really cool, actually. So like once it's unsheathed, the flame ignites with your hand. That's really nice. A tied cotton cloth charm hangs from the anchor point ring. Burn marks and tears run the expanse of the exposed material after catching one too many times on the Fey fire. A tassel charm also hangs just above the fashioned out of thread the same color as the cloth. Oh, I see. Oh, it's really nice. So it's kind of like caught fire a few times, sort of tatty. My Black Mage cane was inspired by the folklore of the Will o' the Wisp, which was generally believed to have been a mischievous fey spirit that led people off their designated path. It also has origins in Christian folklore of a story of a blacksmith who got gifted a single piece of coal from the devil to warm himself, which he then used to lure people into the marshes. Ooh, I didn't know that tale. That's a twisted story. I love it. It's perfect. That's sort of like Fey fire kind of thing. Cannot wait to see where this is from. I can only imagine. They could do a weapon series off of this as well. Very, very, very nice. Then we're on to the other Black Mage specific item that won. We've got the teacup ronker, basically. So it's basically a massive spoon. So basically it's a massive spoon with some used teacups and a ronker who appears to be sleeping at the top, and then he's awakened, screaming along as he's unsheathed. This is absolutely fantastic. It's a very simple design, but again, I'm starting to think they were thirsty on the judging team, because we've seen quite a few like ladle and food related items so far, knives and forks, ladles, and now spoons and tea. Somebody get them some refreshments. But yeah, this is fantastic. I cannot wait to see where this is from. I would love to see this like from I don't know, where would I like to see this from? Probably treasure maps or something. It's such a beautiful item, but we'll have to wait and see where this is from. Probably a vendor. I love it. Just screaming away with his belly full of tea. That's like me, really. Summoner then, these are the winning entries, the first of which is the Encounter Lily Grimoire, I think that's what that says, which to me kind of immediately looks more like a scholar design, but it is a winning entry for Summoner specifically, so hopefully some of the colours can be changed here, dye options. I do like the idea of these glowing sort of, kind of like dinner plate sort of things, right? The porcelain kind of thing going on here. I like the intricate designs with the lilies, possibly. Yeah, it's a nice looking book. But I do also have a slight bit of criticism that there is quite a few books that look kind of like this, probably with less detail in the game. So hopefully this one brings this extra detail and, of course, the dove here into the game itself. So often you see so much of this stuff cut off. So we'll have to wait and see. It looks really good, though. And then the other Summoner book, which is probably one of my favorites, is the, I think somebody in chat called it the decapitated carbuncle head. I think that was Father Fenway. Thanks, Father Fenway. But you've got the carbuncle themed sort of like book here, leather bound with stickers on it from the Grand Companies. It's kind of like, it reminds me sort of like of a journal of your story so far sort of thing, leather bound with a buckle. It's really cute, isn't it? Really cute indeed. And I like the little gem. Hopefully this stuff glows when you open up the book. You know, it'd be lovely to see. And I like the phoenix pinion sort of quill on the back there. Very, very nice stuff. For Red Mage, we have something that's going to be incredibly sought after. It is the first curved blade that Red Mage has seen. Usually it's just a straight stick, but this is curved. Hopefully this has a lovely glow. It says Shepherd's Crook, light in the dark. Hopefully it does. Obviously they've got like Amarot themed spires here. My one criticism is that the blade itself doesn't have that as well. I would love to have seen like the spire shape on the blade, but I think this is actually better anyway. It kind of, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit like a shoehorn sort of design, like in shape. But I can imagine that looks really cool, and it'll look really nice when you're like slashing with it as well as poking. I do like the idea of the coloration from Azem's stone though. That's really nice, that flame sort of thing. And obviously Azema being the flamey lady she is, it kind of makes more sense. I really like that one. Really, really cool. I can imagine that being its own series as well, with that sort of coloration and glow. And the other option is, of course, the Rainpier, like rapier, but rainpier, haha, from Yui, which is a parasol that you stab people with, and the dye options change the sort of like splash color, which is fantastic. What a beautiful idea. And it's drippy themed. Who doesn't want a drippy themed Red Mage weapon? I can't think of a single person that would be against it. It's beautiful. And I like the idea of it is awake when you've got it unsheathed and it's kind of like dozing off. You know, water, froth and foam. Definitely inspired. And I need that right now. I cannot wait. Oh dear. For Blue Mage then, yes, Blue Mage was included in this. Reaper and Sage were not. Apparently they're getting their own contests in the future, supposedly. But Blue Mage is included. This is the first of the two for Blue Mage, which is a Parasol, funnily enough. And yeah, has this nice blue intricate gem design with rope. There's not much to say. It looks pretty good, and I can imagine that looking pretty good when you're casting spells. I like the intricate designs. The colours are perfect. What is there to say? It's a really nice looking Parasol weapon. And then the second Blue Mage weapon is basically like a magician's cane. It sprouts with flowers when you're unsheathing this, presumably. Really cool, like the Showtime kind of thing. It says Wonder of Showtime. I believe that's probably the name of the weapon. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? I like the ribbon, that kind of like magician thing. And they're showing it to be designed to go with the artifact stuff for level 70, which matches perfectly, to be perfectly honest, doesn't it? Really, really good stuff. Really good. For White Mage then, we have the Bunny in the Moon, also known as Bunny Cane by Core Reality Draws. This is probably one of the coolest looking bunny weapons we've seen. I wonder what the Leporits are going to say, though, when they see this. I'm just out of interest. Like, what is that up there? Is that a Leporit? No, it's a bunny rabbit. Yeah, your descendants or something. I like the idea of this. The obviously the bunny in the moon. I do like the fact that there are miniature bunnies crawling around, and there's one just surfing on the bottom there like a cool dude. It's a really beautiful design, isn't it? Nice profile. It reminds me a little bit like Tsukiyomi's weapons, because I believe the White Mage one had like a purple moon, half moon crescent. But I do like the bunny in the moon. It's perfect. It really is. I love it. It in every single way. There's nothing I would improve. And it's obvious why it was a winning entry. It's beautiful. Absolutely. And the star, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Fantastic. And the other side of this then from Cerberus Noise is the Name Day Cane. What is there to say other than, yeah, who doesn't want cake on their birthday? I like the fact that they've implemented the lily sort of job icon design to the bottom of the cane, that it's a giant fork. Again, the judging team was obviously hungry whilst they were judging this. Knives and forks and spoons and drinks of tea and now cake. Yeah, because somebody definitely needs to get them some refreshments. What a nice big bit of cake. It would be nice if, like, as you cast spells or something, the cake was consumed. I don't know how they could do that, but it reminds me of the Moogle cane a little bit, especially with the cherry on top. What's not to love? I really like that design. It fits the game perfectly. It really does. Scholars then. This is probably one of the coolest looking scholar books I've seen. It's a wooden book design. So lightweight wood leather. And this is obviously the Codex of Lost Palette. So this is themed around the idea of art. And obviously we have a color palette as you open this up. I actually saw in a finalists as well, there was a few people who had a similar idea. So these flip open and you've got like your artist supplies, your brushes on one side, your colors on the other. On the back, you've got this beautiful design of Selene or Eos, depending. And you've got your quill. It's just really, really, really nice. I'm not sure what this will look like dyed, but yeah, what a fantastic design. It says a codex with magic inks inspired from color mixing plate and painter tools. I think it would be nice for artist themed glamour. I agree. It would be nice to get like paint covered overalls. That would be something that I would request as well. Really, really nice stuff though. I'm very interested in that, and I don't play Scholar much. Then we got this one, which is kind of, in my opinion, a little bit bright with the colors used. Although, if this was stained glass, which I can't read this to see if it is, I would be totally up for getting this for my own character when it comes into the game. I will say that it is very bright, though. I'm not sure the choice of the green writing necessarily was like something I would have gone for. But, you know, I'm not an artist at the end of the day. It's a nice item, and hopefully this is like stained glass with some luminosity. That would be really nice, but this is really something special, isn't it? It kind of looks like something out of like a church when you go in and you see the stained glass with a light coming through. That kind of design. Hopefully it's that kind of way. If it's like just neon, that might be a little bit difficult to match a gear set with, in my opinion. It looks like these are made of glass as well. The book leaves, the pages. I'm not sure if that is a thing. It's very interesting. I can't wait to see more of that. That's also being added. Very cool. Now we're on to Astro. So we've got the super serious kind of very well thought out design here, which is, holy moly. This is from Loon. This is the Stargazer Star Globe. It says, this star globe is believed to be the labor of love by a nameless student of Lufon, who was said to have a burning passion of mapping the night skies. Unable to find any tool and instrument that could satisfy her demands, she fashioned her very own star globe, which can project a detailed image of a constellation down to the faintest star. With the aid of her star globe, it is said that she could predict the movements of a constellation and create maps of the night skies with extreme accuracy. This is a really cool idea. I like the idea that when it's sheathed, it's not working, it's just dull, and then when you bring it out, you see the actual constellations and stuff. It's just a really well thought out, probably overly thought out, I would say, complex design, and that's a compliment. I like the actions that they've gone here for. This is like an engineering specification. It's beautiful, and like you've got the individual images and like the ideas of what each individual thing does, like the zodiac ring divides the celestial globe into 12 sections. Each section is associated with one of the 12, and the imaging crystal. Very well thought out. Its actual more simple profile, though, when we walk down the page here a little bit, this I could imagine being put into the game, kind of like Garland Ironworks kind of thing. The Astrologicum in Ishgard, maybe. It works in the in-game lore perfectly. What's not to enjoy about this? And I'm sure the judging team was like, holy moly, that's a lot of work being put into that. Yeah, really, really nicely done. The other Astro weapon is a simple snow globe. So we've got the Yukinko, or whatever those monsters are called. I can't remember, from Eureka and other places, Eureka Pagos. And we also have like a handle at the top, and with a ribbon on it, and it snows. It's a snowy snow globe. What's not to love? I think that's probably one of the cutest things I've seen all day. It's fantastic. I cannot wait to see this one in the game. Yeah, that would be nice if it snows as well. If they can get the spell effects working, I can imagine that being an absolute riot, honestly. Fantastic. Let's move on then. Oh yeah, that was the last one. So those were the winners. These are guaranteed to be placed into the game. So we've got the snow globe. I really like that. We've got the Stargazer, which has serious thought put into that. I would suggest you go to this page and give it some love. Read it through yourself. The scholar books, I really like the art one. The cake cane, the bunny, all this stuff is fantastic, isn't it? It really is. So it remains to be said what your favorite is. And of course, there's going to be lots of differentiating opinions in the comment section. Some of my highlights are definitely the dancer weapon with the two blades. I think that's probably my favorite, as well as the monk weapon. Those are definitely my two favorites. That monk weapon is honestly just mind-blowing, isn't it? Beautiful. If they can get all the detail put into that as well, if they manage to implement it like that, then I'll be really, really happy. The same with the dancer one. The fact that they're breaking the boundaries of what that weapon usually is, which is just a disc, and then allowing people to have stuff like as a winner that's going to be in the game with two blades. It's going to be so cool to see somebody with two longswords spinning them around, you know. I cannot wait. Let's quickly look at the finalists then. We're not going to dwell too much on them, but congratulations to the finalists as well. They get their prizes. Some highlights here. We've got Meteor's 4th Paladin, so flame-themed ideas, sort of Thavnerian-themed stuff. I love the details and designs on some of these. One of my favorites of the finalists, though, is this Batwing Shield design. I think that's beautiful. That should be in the game. Absolutely. We've got the Forgotten weapons. Those are nice. They kind of remind me a little bit like Allagan weapons slightly with the blue strip. These are beautiful, the broken weapons. I can imagine like a whole series. It reminds me of the Lightforge, sorry, from World of Warcraft with the Naru and that purple crystal. I can imagine like a hammer for warrior and stuff. That's really nice. This shield is probably one of the nicest I've seen. It would have been lovely to see that actually added to the game, sort of like the fold out wings and then this sort of like holy glow. Love that. So much talent in these finalists as well. Look at those swords and shields, man. The warrior weapons, this is like a holographic weapon. So like you unsheath it and the light blade comes out. That's really cool. The Blossom battle axe. Oh man, so cool. The Namazu Hammer. I wish that was one of the winners as well. That's beautiful. I like this one as well. I'm not sure what it's called. This is nice. I don't like the cube in the middle, but I like the idea of this because it reminds me of Palace of the Dead when you get low enough and you see those like cubes falling everywhere. Really cool stuff. Dark Knight blades look really cool. Really, really, really cool. Lots of crystals, and this reminds me of like an Elden Ring weapon, the King's Ego. I love that. I love it. And then we've got really complicated kind of like Final Fantasy 13 designs. The more you look at it, the more detail you see with like the head and then the blades. Very nice stuff. Gunbreaker had like a large musket as a finalist. I would have loved to see that in the game. Gunbreaker weapons, very nice stuff. Nice thick gunbreaker weapons, like different designs, different takes on things. And then we've got the monk weapons. There's lots of really cool monk ideas. One of the things that I think should have been put in the game, though, is the fat cat. So you can, like, punch people with fat cats. We got the shark. Now we just need every other mascot. So hopefully this gets added as well. I would love to see that. I love all these designs, man. There's not a single... It must have been so difficult for a judge to sit through this and go, wow, and have to only pick 2 per job. It's just a nightmare. I mean, some of these designs, man, like the carrots for ninja. Who doesn't want to be reminded about a failed combo whilst they're playing it? I mean, it's fantastic. Fan blades, amazing. Those are cool. Everything's so cool. There's not a single design I don't like. I like this because it reminds me of Raiden's HF blade, the high frequency blade from Metal Gear. You know, the flaming sword for samurai. So it like heats it up in the scabbard and then you pull the flaming sword out, and then like Egyptian themed blades. Oh man, like sacrificial blades, like a training sword kind of thing, like the cane sword type idea. This bow, when I showed this on stream the other day, people were like, why did that not win? It's beautiful, the Star Shepard bow. It looks like something of the 12, you know? Like a 12 weapon. If the Alliance raid had weapons, this would be one of them. It's beautiful. Like the fairy sort of wings on there. The Holy Watcher is beautiful as well. Like with the folding sort of like Sephiroth design of the sort of like the top part of the bow opening up. And then you have the Holy, sort of like glow effects. That's like a relic weapon, man. It's so cool. This looks nice as well. Like the Shattered Void. So like there's like the crystals have shattered and you've got a black bow. Oh, so much imagination. Even like the machinist stuff, like we've got like what looks like a Nerf gun with a cactuar. Fantastic. And a scree gun. You point it at people, pull the trigger, and it goes scree. Oh dear. I like this as well. Kind of like the integrated sort of brass designs. It kind of looks like a jury rig shotgun or something that's been modified, and then there's like ether coming out of it. It's like a mad scientist's weapon. I like that. Then we've got a nice blade there with like the gun applied to the top of it, kind of like a butcher's blade or something. The dancer weapons are just amazing. There was lots of tambourine entries, which is not a bad thing. I like the flower as well. That would be really funny to see in the game. The lotus bloom, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Another beautiful tambourine as well there. Black mage weapons, give them a broom. I like that idea. You know, they've got the Mado brush, but give them another brush. We've got the Encased Staff, which is like Allergan stuff. Man, like a singularity on a stick, man. That's so cool. There's so many really cool designs here. This is one of my favorites as well. I'm surprised this didn't get into the finalists or the winning entries is Chloe's storybook. So essentially what you have is kind of like the Wondrous Tales, but it's Chloe's book where she's keeping track of all of your tales that you tell her. And I really like that idea. It fits perfectly into the design, and they could put that in like the Faux Hollows minigame or something, because they've got the faux fox on the front there. I love that. That's just beautiful. And then we have like the palette design. A few people had this, right? The idea of having like artist scholar books. There must be a lot of artists that play scholar. That's all I'm saying. There must be. This is nice. Kind of like Allegan scripture, or like a what do you call it? An iPad, right? Allegan iPad type thing. I like that a lot. Sort of like Herald of the 13th. Yeah, that looks like it's from the Void as well. Really nice. The red mage weapons, that kind of reminds me of blood magic sort of stuff. Very cool. Just the insane detail on some of these designs, you know? Beautiful. A pair of scissors. So the S-Fetition is canonically a red mage now. Confirmed. And this reminds me of something from WoW for some reason. I think it's just the guard design. I really like that. We got blue mage down here with more mascot designs. I like the Paragod and the Chocobo Cane. There needs to be one of each. I think that was the theme most people went for. One of each mascot type idea. We've got Ultro Staff. Blushes with hearts when wielded by a female character. I'm not sure that would be possible, but I like the idea of Ultros themed weapons in general, and Moogle Mog stuff. I'm surprised there's not a Moogle wand in the game, to be fair. It's showtime, like a rabbit in a hat. That's really nice. I like this one as well with the burb. Very nice burb. The white mage stuff just goes like to 11 very quickly. This thing is amazing with like the, oh man, the holy sort of petal thing going on here, and the lunar kind of orb thing. Man, and then the Lily Bell. I wondered if anybody was going to do a Lily Bell design. It's fantastic. Sort of like a Moogle floof thingy that you get, like the floof mount from the Moogle Beast Tribe. So good. So good, man. I'm surprised no one complained that this isn't in the game, honestly. Like the Magical Girl staff. Oh, man. A lot of people would love that. Sort of like Sailor Moon themed. A little bit of Kingdom Hearts, maybe. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I like this. This kind of reminds me of like Sophia's cane. Very nice. Nice crystals and things. And then we've got stuff that takes it in a different idea. Like this is really cool, with the octopus clinging to the side of the scholar book, and then there's an ink splodge instead of writing. Very nice. And then you have like intricate designs and naturey designs and like a map. Look, and huge, like a journal of your findings. The astrologian weapons look amazing. Honestly, there are some very, very talented people. Look at that underwater theme, like a fish tank. Holy moly. And that's what they win. They get the design into the game, and they get the Great Parasol, and that's what the winners get, which I am incredibly jelly over. It's beautiful. And the runners-up get to they get a set of these. They get the earring, the scarf, Mandragora choker, Araman choker, Noble Bard and Gala cap, and the Strife hairstyle. They get all of that. That's really cool. Well deserved, honestly. I am blown away by the entries, the winners, just everything, man. Like, it's just been a fantastic contest. It takes them a long time to get through all of these entries and to like actually put their stuff in the game, and more often than not you see stuff that wasn't a winner that was a finalist get put in as well. So I have high hopes that everybody gets to see their stuff in the game, because I don't think there's a single weapon on this page that I dislike. I think it's fantastic, honestly. Anyway, let me know below what your favorite either winner or finalist was, and obviously if you didn't make it into the finalists, people would love to see your weapon designs. If you've got social media, tag me in them as well. I would love to see them. A few people have already done that. They're like, oh, well, I didn't get into the finalists or win, but this is what my design was. It'd be lovely to hear from you. And any of the people who entered and have their weapon in the game, it'd be so cool if when your weapon does get imported into the actual game, I could reach out to you and talk to you about it, because I can imagine that would be such an incredible feeling. Anyway, this community is awesome. Keep up the great work. Keep being amazing artists. If you are obviously included in this and you're watching this rambling video, awesome work. I love watching this stuff. Same with the furnishing design stuff. Never lose hope. And hopefully this is also inspiring more people to take part. You totally should. All right, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.